it's May, and today we are going to be making a doll room. Yes, another. But this time it'll be inspired by the Fresh Dolls. So, I have always loved the Fresh Dolls ever since they first came out. I think they're just so beautiful and so unique. They're not like any other doll brand out there. And that's one of the reasons why I love them. So we're using a whole bunch of pictures that we just printed out from online. And we have scrapbook paper this time used for the floor. We just got 2 pieces. They were 69 cents a piece at the craft store. So really affordable. And that's something that we really try to do here. We try to make everything affordable. The only thing that might be a little out of the price range is the hot glue gun. Yeah. But there are other ways to do it. You don't need to use a hot glue gun. You can use tape, you can use glue sticks, staples, whatever. So the hot glue gun isn't completely necessary, but we prefer to use the hot glue gun because we have access to it. But you don't have to use a hot glue gun, and we wanted to remind you guys of that. Alright, so I already covered the walls with white printer paper, and again, the white printer paper doesn't look wonderful. It doesn't look good as a scrap paper would, but it'll do. So my room measures 18 inches across and 13.5 inches up and 13 inches deep. So, alright, we're going to put the flooring in now and let's see how that looks. Alright, so I laid the scrapbook paper out, and there is a little room on the top. Now that's nothing, I don't really mind that, but there is this space right here. And the reason behind that is I didn't get enough scrapbook paper. I got 3 pieces for the walls, and I should have gotten 4. The floor I'm fine on, I have plenty of extra. Right now this is 2 pieces, and the overlap is this big. So I have plenty left. But on this, I really don't. So maybe I can put like a shelf there? Yeah, maybe like a really big shelf. I think I'm gonna do that. Or maybe I can take some of the extra paper from here and put it there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But first, we're gonna put the flooring down. So we're gonna take this out. And originally, I just wanted to use the printer paper. But I really like how this scrapbook paper looks together. And I didn't feel like using them separately because they just look so nice together, I couldn't pass it up. And a Fresh Doll room deserves to look as nice as possible. So, we are going to do it anyway. And that's something that happens with crafting. You have to take risks. And if you don't, you'll never be able to create anything that's worth showing people. Because if you always follow step-by-step instructions on everything, you can't make it your own. And the most important thing about it is making it your own. That's what I always say to my friends. So we're going to glue the floors down, and then we're going to put the walls in. So, when I do the floors, I want to take off this bottom here. But first let me tell you the one that I'm using. So this is a really pretty wood flooring, and it is called wood planks, simply wood planks. And I got this at Michael's for 69 cents, like I said. So I'm just going to cut off the label, but I'm not going to throw this away. Cut it all in one piece and keep it. And I will tell you why later. So now that we have the scrap paper, I cannot speak today. Now that we have the scrapbook paper done, we're going to lay it out and see how much we can cut off. But we do want a little overlap. We don't want it to be right up next to each other because then there might be some spacing. So we do want a small overlap, just like I did with the walls. So we're just going to make sure it's tucked under the papers because the papers are coming off of the walls a little bit. So we want to make sure it's tucked under them so that there's no spacing left. Then you take the other paper and again make sure it's tucked under there. is a very large overlap here. So I'm going to, where did I put the scissors? I always misplace the scissors. Here they are. So I'm just going to put a little slit right there. And that is where I will be cutting the paper. So I'm just cutting along where I put that slit. Like that. And I'm going to put the side that I cut back under the paper so that you can't see the part that's not exactly straight. So after that, it looks like it's supposed to be there, right? And we saw this giant chunk of extra. And that's always good when you have extra scrapbook paper because you never know when you're going to need that. So now I'm going to use my hot... What? Okay. Now I'm going to use my hot glue gun and I'm going to use it to secure the scrapbook paper down. And please, always have a dart. Wow, I really can't speak today. I'm so sorry. Please remember to have adult supervision when working with hot objects. These things are extremely hot, and I've said this before, I've burnt myself with this before and it left a scar. So please, please, please don't do this without a parent's permission. Without, adult supervision, without any of that. Same goes with the scissors, any sharp, hot, pointy things that could cause any type of injury. Please have adults' supervision and permission. Alright, so I'm going to plug this thing in and we are going to get started. Okay, so the hot glue gun is heated up now. So how I'm going to do this is, without completely removing it from where it is, I'm going to carefully lift up the scrapbook paper, put a tiny, tiny bit of glue on it, right? And then carefully secure it. And I'm going to do that all around the floor. Like that. So now that the floor is done, I did mess up a little and I do have some bubbles, and that's really going to bug me, but I'll be fine. So now I'm going to put the walls on. And to do this, you're going to take your paper and you're going to line it up where you want it on the wall. Then you're going to do the same with the rest and glue them down. And remember to only use a little bit of glue and not too much, because if you use too much, you're going to mess the whole thing up. So I will show you when I'm finished, and I'll show you how to apply one piece. I'm not doing every piece because I'm filming this on an iPad, and I don't have much of an angle to work with. This is really it. Sorry. So I forgot to videotape me applying one of the walls. But basically, I did it the same way as the floors. So, yeah. It doesn't look perfect. And again, we're going to need to do something with that. Ignore the mess back there. And you're probably wondering, there's all those tags at the bottom. What are you going to do? Well, remember those pieces I told you to save earlier? Well, we're going to use these as trim, because they're already the perfect size. But before we do, we don't have enough to cover the entire thing. So we're going to need to cut some more. To do that, just take a piece of blank paper and cut it along there. It's that simple. After you cut out the strips, you are just going to glue them on to the bottom. Simple as that. Alright, so I'm back. It's the next day, and I got more hot glue. Alright, so now using that new hot glue, I am going to add the trim on to the walls. And how I do that is I take the strip, line it up where the print is on the bottom of the scrapbook paper, put some hot glue on it, and glue it down. Simple as that. Alright, I'm going to charge up my hot glue gun, and we're going to put the trim. I decided I'm just going to do a little bit at a time because I did mess up I tried it 3 more times and I did mess up all 3 times. So I'm just going to do it a little bit at a time. So I already put the first piece on. the first little corner. So it didn't work out perfectly. I did mess up, which really stinks. This house isn't looking really how I wanted it to so far. I mean, there's not enough scrapbook paper. I missed a whole 2 inches in the floor. The trim's all messed up. Maybe it'll turn around once I start adding more. Alright, I'm gonna add the rest of the trim on. So now that all of the trim is on, I am going to be starting to make the furniture. So first is the bed. Now, I don't want to make an entirely new bed, so I thought I'd just recycle an old bed. This bed that I'll be recycling, it doesn't have a room to go with. It's just a bed. So we're going to be recycling that and just adding new sheets on. So I have an old bed from a video that I shot or actually no, I didn't even shoot a video, it was that long ago. So yeah, there it is. So I'm thinking that at some point I can substitute this bed in with a bed that I make out of a Fresh Doll box, because it is made to fit a Fresh Doll. So I'll do that when I get a Fresh Doll. But this will work for now. So this is just a very simple, there's a fuzz on it. It's just a very simple cardboard bed. It's just made out of cardboard, and I put a layer of fabric here to act as a mattress, and then just pieces of a t-shirt. And remember to get a parent's permission before cutting out clothes. And if it doesn't belong to you, don't cut it up. And then just 2 little pillows. So that's what's going to be used as the bed for now. So now I think I want to put a desk here. First, we should probably do the shelf. So I've covered the piece with scrapbook paper just on the side that will be facing the rest of the room. The part that's going to be glued onto the wall, you don't need to cover. So now I'm just going to glue it onto the wall, making sure that the top of the piece meets the top of the scrapbook paper. And if there's a little bit left, no worries, because I'm just going to put a paperclip box there. You can put whatever you want there, but I'm going to use a paperclip box because it's about the right size. Okay, so I covered the paperclip box in printer paper because I ran out of scrapbook paper, so it doesn't look great, but it should be fine. So now I'm going to make shelves, and I do have to cover them in printer paper because I don't have any more scrapbook paper. So I wrapped the shelves and then I hot glued them onto the panel. And I don't think it looks half bad. I was a little nervous about it at first, but I think it looks pretty decent. Alright, so I did cut out, while I was waiting for everything to dry, before. Cut these out before, but I forgot to say that I cut out all the pictures that I printed out. So we're going to use those when we decorate them, but not right. So for the next part of the video, I'm going to be making a table that can go right here. I thought it needed a little more furniture in here. But I feel like a table might take up a little bit of room, but we definitely need something else. Maybe instead of a table, we can make an ottoman poof like we did in another video. And then maybe a little side table. Oh, maybe a floor lamp. Yeah, a floor lamp would be nice. And then maybe we could have shelves here. Some sort of shelving unit there. I think we might do that. So I'll get the socks needed for the ottoman poof and I'll be right back. Okay, so I made the ottoman poof. It doesn't look wonderful, but it'll do for now. I'm just trying to stuff the extras in here. So I did this with socks, and I will link a video in the description of how to make one, probably a little better than me. And I'm just gonna put it in the corner. There it is right there. And now I think I want to make, you know what, I don't want to make a side table because it's going to go in the corner. And I also changed my mind on the shelving. Or did I? I feel like I still want some shelving like right here. I don't know, I'll have to figure that out. But next I'm going to make a floor lamp. So to make the floor lamp, I am going to be using a skewer. And you can get these really cheap at like ShopRite or Acme. A little cup, this is just a paper cup, and nail polish. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to paint the skewer, and I'm going to be painting it black, but first cut it to the length that you want. So mine is pretty long, so I'm going to kind of look to see how long exactly I want it to be. And I think I just want to chop a little bit off the top since it will be a standing floor lamp. And then I'm going to cut a little bit off of this to make it the size that I want. And this is going to be the lampshade. So it's going to sit on the skewer. So, yeah, like that. And make sure the skewer has a pointy end. That'll be important later on. Pointy end a little bit like, if it'll focus, that. Alright, I'm going to paint this and I'll be right back. So the nail polish idea didn't really work. So I'm going to start over, but this time I'm actually going to have to use paint. I know I try to keep it with household items, but yeah, I'm going to need to use it. So the whole lamp thing didn't work for me because I don't have a brush that works for it. So we're just going to scratch the lamp for now and maybe do one later. But for now, we're not getting a lamp. So I was thinking we can add some sort of storage here. Because a table, I feel like it's just going to fill up the room too much. So I want to put, I don't know. I was going to do a storage bench, but we have the ottoman there. Maybe, I don't know. You know what? We are going to do storage. So we are going to do a storage area that is like a storage bench. And then going to see how that looks. You know what? Never mind. We are not doing that. I am going to make a table because it needs a table. So I am going to use the same method I used to make the shelves for the table. So go ahead and do that. So I cut 3 panels and I'm going to hot glue them together. Alright, here we go. After you do that, you should have a tabletop that can hold lightweight items. Remember, lightweight. If they're heavy, it might break or bend. So lightweight. Now you're going to cut the legs. Do this by measuring how big the doll is, see where exactly you want it to be, and then cut the legs and glue them together using the same method for the table. After I covered the table in the paper, I put it in the room where I want it, and I added a Barbie chair. For some of the pictures that I want to put as on the shelf or something, I added a piece of, cardstock to the back of it, and I just place it on the shelf, and it can stay there without folding or bending. You can also add, for little extra detail frames around the edges to make it look like a photo in a frame. To add a window and extra details to the room, I'm using printables from my project stuff, and I'll put the link to where I found them on the description. I cut a piece of cardboard from doll packaging that I'm going to use for fitting. After I hot glued the photo board on, I added extra decorations. I added the pictures that I printed out. I added computers and notebooks and a toy lightsaber from a Force of Destiny doll. I really love this room, and it started off being very bad and sloppy, but I think it came together very nice. And I really hope that the Fresh Dolls and Dr. Lisa, I really hope they enjoyed this room, because I love it. Oh, look, there's Dr. Lisa on the wall. I used a couple different accessories from different types of dolls, like Monster High, Barbie, Force of Destiny, so I used a lot. For the wall with the photos on it, I really like this. I think that, since it's a doll's bedroom, you can kind of see the dolls in it. I really love the table, and I love this little corner right here with the ottoman. I like how there's the computer on the desk. I love the bed, and I think that it's a good way to reuse it. The book there is actually functional. There are also printables. That was something my friend made me, and I hung it on the wall as a decoration. I love the shelf. I think it's really cute, and I think it came out very nice. I love all of the little stuff on the shelf. The photos and the little toy doll, which is actually just something printed out. I think this room came out really nice. Bye! This awesome Fresh Doll Room video. And please, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye! Thanks for watching.